You don't know what you don't know. I quickly became aware that I had a lot I didn't know about branding. We were very unsure what to do there, how to approach that challenge, where you had suggested, well, there is some other things we can potentially do, and we can potentially do some on the branding side. And it was an exercise of knowledge for me, because there were questions that were asked throughout the process that helped me bring it to an arrowhead, as opposed to have a scattering of ideas that were just going to lay out there and not become a cohesive thing.
You know, a lot of people, since we're talking about it on this podcast, don't understand that branding is not the logo. The logo is kind of what comes out of the branding. The branding is the storytelling, and it's the story of who you are as an individual owning the company and the company itself. And then the idea from our perspective as a branding agency is we believe if we authentically build your story, that you will begin to authentically attract. Hi, I'm Robin Pasley, and this is Designed to Help Your Business Grow. And today, I'm with you, Tom Muldoon.
You are? Yes, you are.
Tom, tell me about your company. Why are we together?
So my company is the Park Club. It is an indoor golf facility in Castle Rock. And, we try very hard to establish an environment where people want to come in, enjoy golf, get better at golf, and enjoy the social aspects of golf.
I remember the phone call that I got the day that you reached out to see if we could assist. I remember one of the things that intrigued me the most was that you had done the research to find out what was competitive in that market. And I love that you went for it's not just the Cadillac of simulators, it's the genius of simulators. And I think that's one of the things that, you can tell me more, but I know that Zane's been into your place and he was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it came out well. And we did, there are several models in indoor golf. The most common on the extremes are the 24-hour access. They tend to be in industrial parks. And they serve a great purpose to help golfers improve and get a lot of golf and simulation in. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, which I had seen an inspiration from up in Denver. And that was what I wanted. I just wanted to go towards that higher-end facility, very high touch with our staff, high-end technology, and visuals, because I'm a visual person, of visuals that would surprise people as they walked in the door.
Well, let's back up a little bit and tell me how you came to wanting to open this location, because this is your first step out in owning a bar/entertainment space. What were you doing before this?
So I spent my career in technology and IT. I spent the majority of that with the larger consulting companies. I did the majority of my work for Fortune 10 in and around those mega companies and put in large IT systems for them. And I was getting to the point where I was ready to retire from that, and retire being a loose term. Because the fundamentals of that career had changed post-COVID, where we weren't seeing our clients as much. I wasn't traveling. I wasn't engaging people. And it was becoming a bear of a job as opposed to an enjoyment of a job. And I was debating on what to do, and literally saw a commercial or a TV spot on the local news about this facility up in Denver. I was like, I just want to go see it. And when I saw it, it really crystallized for me very quickly that I wanted to do something like that. I just wanted to spend the remaining portion of my work career days in that kind of environment. And I was lucky enough through the earlier portions of my career to have made some good decisions. I was lucky enough to make some good financial decisions where I had the ability to take a shot. People ask me a lot why I'm doing this, and I tell them why I was going to retire, and I came up, what could be the most expensive, most stressful, and dumbest idea you can come up with, and I came up with this. And so now I spend my life, basically, trying to make people better golfers and simultaneously pouring them drinks.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is a good combination. It's part of the reason that I chose golf as my a hobby. I was mentored by two really amazing women, and they both chose one of their husbands' hobbies when their sons left and went to college. And so I decided to do the same thing. And my options were fly fishing or golf. And I chose the one that had fashion and liquor.
Oh, yeah.
So sounds like you're engaging those, at least the liquor side of things, with your concept. So we got to work together on this project, and I know that a major element of the project was the branding. Tell us a little bit about your, engagement with our team on that and what that was like for you.
One of the things I've taken away from my previous career is you don't know what you don't know. And I quickly became aware that I had a lot I didn't know about branding. And we were very unsure. When I say we, it was myself, and I had some spirit advisors along the way. And we were very unsure what to do there, how to approach that challenge. It was an afterthought, actually, for us. As part of our engagement, when I started talking with you about, hey, I need some help just in making this place look pretty. Where you had suggested, well, there is some other things we can potentially do, and we can potentially do some on the branding side. We came down, we listened, and we're like, well, I don't know, that doesn't sound all that hard, this doesn't do anything. And we gave it further thought, and we actually talked to some additional individuals who told us we were the dumbest people on the planet, and quickly made the decision to engage with you on that. And it was an exercise of knowledge for me, because there were questions that were asked just throughout the process that helped me bring it to a point, bring it to an arrowhead, as opposed to have a scattering of ideas that we're just going to lay out there and not become a cohesive thing. So the exercise in the process for me really created the brand as opposed to a branding. It was a lot of concepts and ideas that had to be brought together to be able to establish a brand rather than just, I have a brand and I'm going to get support in helping to grow it and build it. It was the start.
I know that you got to meet HB because he is our chief branding guru. In my history with him, he has this special gift of taking a lot of pieces that have been handed to him and weaving them together into a cohesive focal thought. It's really a surpassing grace that he has, and you got to watch it in operation there. And then we got to take what he had developed with you and turn it into an interior design, which, is my favorite part. Tell me a little bit about the challenges that we faced in the execution of your project.
I will say in hindsight, right, looking back, we would not have been able to accomplish what we did had we not done the branding step first.
Yeah.
Logistically, I knew what the floor plan layout was going to be. I knew structurally how things needed to be laid out to maximize the number of simulators that we could place in the facility, because that's direct revenue,
Right.
while simultaneously creating opportunities for space that was going to be welcoming and open. But that's all I knew. And it was then because of the work that we did together and that you, and I say we very liberally, it was you and your team that was able to then take that and say, okay, here's some ideas on how we could take this place and make it unique and special.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think I skipped a step. I want you to share with those listening who your ideal client is, because I found that to be something that came out of your branding strategy that was unusual.
Yeah, that's kind of an understatement, because my belief prior to the exercise was that our ideal target client, like who's that person that we are going to make sure that we are thinking about as we move everything from branding to design to our social media platforms. I would have assumed that was the individual that was looking for the country club experience, like that person, because the modern country club is, rather than having to spend $50,000 at a country club, which would have probably led more towards a professional male golfer. And I was really based off. Where we landed, and I found it very interesting, was that we landed on upwardly mobile, early 30s, late 20s to 45 female golfers, or females who are looking for social environments to be with their friends and family. And it was the right answer. But I wouldn't have not naturally gotten there. And it was the right answer because they are the individuals that they establish where people go, both for themselves and families and friends. Like, it's probably more rare that in larger group settings that the that the original person I was describing is the person that's saying, I'm going to do all the research and figure out where we're going to go. It's more of that latter group who are looking for really great experiences for themselves, for them with their friends and family, that really find those places.
Yeah.
And I say that because there's nothing that we did eventually when we did our design took away from that first description I laid.
Right.
Like those individuals find us very frequently. But the fact that we designed for and came out of our branding exercise for the ideal client has been very impactful. And I've got great stories to tell you about how people have walked in and opened those doors and they're like, whoa, what did I just walk into? Because there's an expectation on indoor golf simulation of what you're going to see.
Right.
And it is not what you see when you walk in our space.
Well, we had such a blast taking the exercises that you did with HB and branding and implementing them. And one of the things that I remember learning about you that we implemented in the space, because this is your baby, this is your creation, right? And I think that's a thing that a lot of people don't recognize when it's an individual's inspiration to have the business, how they really have to be a part of it, the branding piece of it. And so he learned some things about you, that you're kind of playful, bit of a jokester.
Yeah.
And we brought that into the design. We did a takeoff of the upside down approach to everything kind of being a little off or different than we would be expected. So hanging the 18-hole course from the ceiling with, the balls coming down and things like that played off of that playful side of who you are in the space.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of compliments on that specific element, by the way. Mostly women. So we really hit on the target for that just come in and they just like it. It's not overstated. It's a simple addition that wasn't overly costly with a massive amount of popularity and impact.
That's awesome. Great story. Thank you for saying that. That's the stuff that we like to hear, is that those ideas that weren't costly actually did add up. And I know that, you took the right approach on investing in the elements and the pieces that you can't go back and do them later, like doing the right flooring. If you try to redo that later, you just spent a whole lot more money to do it later than doing it right the first time. So I applauded you for making some of those decisions. And then I know that your simulators, because you chose those really smart ones, were part of that investment cost up front, weren't they?
Yeah, everything was. I would say that anybody who's starting down that path is just get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because costs are going to be higher than any plan.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's like when you build a house.
It's totally true.
You have a budget, and then you have to make decisions about that budget along the way.
Did you own the businesses that you ran previously, or that you were your previous career to this? Did you own the companies, or did you work?
No. I always worked as an employee for major, large enterprise companies.
So this was, I think that's significant for what you just said, because to be a first-time business owner and to calmly say what you just said, get comfortable being uncomfortable, is really impressive to me, because it just tells me that you're a pliable, flexible person that has your eye on the prize in the future and didn't just let the squeeze of the construction costs going up crumple you.
I don't care what level of entrepreneur you are, and I would have not known this until I had started down the path myself. Whether you are Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Tom Muldoon doing a very much smaller thing, you have to believe in that vision. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you have to believe in that vision. I mean, there's been some very stressful moments since we've opened, stressful moments about when we just don't have customers that day, stressful moments about how making sure we're going to pay payroll and pay through this and do that. What keeps I guess every one of the entrepreneurs out there going is just a belief, a fundamental belief.
Yeah, that's good. So tell me a little bit about the practical nuts and bolts of what it's like to come to your facility now.
So we're really early, so I can tell you where we are now. I'll give you a little bit of a hint of where we're going.
Okay, fun.
We opened with starry eyes and a bar. And the food operations required to have that bar. So we've had 3 menu items on the bar. We've had some prepackaged items because that's what you need to. You need to have food to have a bar. It's
Yeah.
just the wall.
Yeah, it is the wall.
So we opened with a delightful sandwich we call the crappie because it's a crappy sandwich. And but it's $3 and we're not tricking anybody. Right? It's the kind of stuff that you would get out from a cart girl or on a golf course.
It's perfect.
But
It's a perfect
they would
fit.
charge you $10. And so
Right.
we're being very reasonable, very respectful of Castle Rock and our customers, to letting them know. But we do have real strong plans for food. Actually, we've been waiting for equipment. Hopefully that's going to arrive this week. And then we're going to start doing our test kitchen. We'll start doing Bavarian pretzel, some breakfast burritos, a spicy dip with some pita, just to test things out.
Yeah.
Good sweet desserts.
Yeah.
And that's been the growing side, at least on the food and the beverages. We've really honed in our cocktails. We've been very specific and measured. We didn't try to just launch 90 different specialty cocktails. Our old fashioned is a huge seller. People love it. The cocktail industry side of the business has been doing pretty well. Most people buy beer. It's a golf place,
Yep.
and most people, and we've got 14 taps, so we sell quite a bit of tap beer. But you asked a question about our leagues, and so we've been doing our leagues. They've been very successful. And we get asked constantly about memberships, and we got to try to think about how we want to do that. We may make leagues our membership, so that if you are a league player, then you are our member, and then you get to have special perks down the line, as opposed to just here's your membership, and you can just play as much as you want, or you can play 5 times.
Yeah.
So we may kind of combine those two, and so that's part of the thinking process we're going through right now. How do we really reward the people who are our best customers?
Yeah.
As opposed to just try to race to the bottom. And one of the exercises that did come out of the branding was we can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah.
And so
It's
we
true.
are really trying to take that to heart and tailor everything we do from the cocktails to the food to the golf itself, the memberships and the leagues, to the customers that we really wanted to be part of our brand.
Which I think is such an important part of the exercise of branding, which is, a lot of people, since we're talking about it on this podcast, don't understand that branding is not the logo. The logo is kind of what comes out of the branding. The branding is the storytelling, and it's the story of who you are as an individual owning the company and the company itself. And then the idea from our perspective as a branding agency is we believe if we authentically build your story, that you will begin to authentically attract the people that are attracted to who you are authentically. It'll be a very natural thing. And so I thought that was so great that you guys went through that process. And finding that it's actually working for your business model is even more exciting for me.
Well, it was a real wake up for me personally. Because remember, I'm a technologist. I'm an executive nerd. I spoke geek to CEOs and CIOs throughout my career.
Yeah.
And so it was a wake up call, kind of a eye opener that no, I'm not going to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
Because in my mind I was like, why wouldn't I want that customer? Why wouldn't I want this customer? And so you have to choose. You have to really target and be strategic about who you're going to be trying to attract. And that goes in everything from the way that we obviously did the design, but it's now coming into the aspects of what do we want our leagues to be, and what do we want do we want our leagues to be memberships, and what type of food do we want to have on our menu, because that attracts different types. I've had customers come in, and we have a very premium well. So we have high-end brands that you would recognize. We have Tito's in our well. We have Bullet in our well.
Wow.
Casamigos is our
Yeah.
tequila. So we have higher-end products in just as our regular standard well drinks. And I've had people come in and tell me, oh, you know what, you should get this other tequila because then you could have $4 drinks. And I was like, but that's not my brand. That's not who I want to try to attract. I'm not trying to attract in people who want to have the cheapest drinks.
That's right.
And so it was a reminder of that whole exercise when these people come in. They're like, no, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it has really been pretty much now a thought process in everything we do.
That's
about
amazing.
going back to thinking about, okay, who's our customers? Why are we going to do this? What kind of menu items? And it was a surprise retrospect, because I wouldn't have even thought I was going to have those kind of things that would be on my mind, 4 months after our opening.
Right. That you would keep going back to that exercise that you did, that you were like, why are we doing this? And now you're applying it not only to the design, but to the function and to all of your decision making as your business continues, which is wonderful. So tell me, do you have other challenges that you're facing in the coming year?
So we believe, and again, I'm going to say that we believe because every day has been a learning experience. But I think my fundamental challenge right now, even though we've been cash flow positive, but part of that being cash flow positive is because I work there 7 days a week. Because I'm operationally strong in knowing how to manage money. And so I make sure I keep my labor tight, which means I have to work a little bit more. And that's fundamentally driven by awareness, I think. We have to really increase the awareness of our business locally and a little bit broader, because we actually do get some people from Colorado Springs. Two of our best customers live down here.
Okay.
And come up, they drive up because they happen to work closer to where we are, and they're like, we would rather play here than some of the other places that they've experienced. And I've got to get that awareness more broadly. Right? These two great customers were because somebody walked into our bar, does not play golf, had a drink because they were going to the rodeo, and was like, oh my God, two of my coworkers are the most avid golfers. And then they came in the following week, and they've been great customers since.
Wow.
So I've got to find ways to build that, right? Whether that's a direct mailing, digital marketing, handing out flyers at the farmers market, we've got to continue to just increase awareness. So if I can do that, and if I can tackle that challenge successfully, I think it will really position us for both strong growth as well as me to maybe get a day off because I won't be so controlling on labor.
Right. That would be great. Well, my hopes are high that that's going to happen for you, and you're going to have great partnership for your marketing side of things.
Yeah, in my opinion, right? I think we have to play a little reactionary to what we are thrown at, or what's thrown at us, I should say.
Yeah.
While trying to be as most proactive as we can.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
None of us, I mean, for anybody who's watching at this moment, we don't know what interest rates will be.
That's right.
Right? We were in a climate where it looked like they were going to be coming down. We don't know if they're going to be going back up. That has direct implications on a high capital business like ours, where we put a lot of capital into this. But we just don't know, and so we just have to be as proactive as we can and react as these things happen. I couldn't have planned for a bad winter. You can't plan for. That's not coming into port this month. It's going to be 2 months before it comes into port. And then how do we plan for that? And then how do we do the best thing we can for our customers at that moment? Like right now, gas prices are a little high.
Yeah.
I went to fill up my tank on the way down, and it was $5.60 something for premium because my car takes premium. And that's a high amount, more than I've ever seen in the time I've owned any car.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure my customers are feeling that too. And, that means they have less discretionary income to do those types of things. And we are a discretionary income kind of business. And so I'm sure you are facing same challenges, and I'm going to imagine whether it's tariff challenges or, budget challenges, because customers' budgets now are being squeezed by other things that they also need to do, which then is putting pressure on what they want to buy.
Right. It does, for sure. And I think, what you said is true. It's about mindset and belief. Believing that what you bring to the customer or client is still valuable, and then being nimble and flexible to move with the forces that are coming at you. I think you've actually had some great things to say about that today, about staying positive, believing in the vision you had, and then being able to flex with what happened. It sounds like it's really worked for you.
I'm not sure how you feel as a business owner, but somebody a long time ago, and it's probably the most cliche statement, but it's very true, when your passion is your job, it's not a job. And I really do. I come in every day, and I love my customers. I've gotten to know quite a bit of them. A larger number of them will come in. They'll be like, Tom. I mean, so it is a real joy being able to run that business, which of course comes with stresses, of course comes with things. But I mean, that's what keeps me getting up every single day, is that I actually have great customers. I have some great people that I've gotten to know, and I hope to get to know a lot more over the couple of years.
We're the same way. It's what gets us out of bed in the morning too, is for me specifically, because I love helping business owners solve the problems they're in, and things like, you got to experience with us of, helping tell the story in the brand, in the space, and all the elements. So if people want to find you, how do we find the Par Club?
Well, we are definitely online. And so you can just Google the Par Club in Castle Rock, and you will definitely find us online. If logistically, though, we are really not far off from the hub of Castle Rock, the downtown portion of Castle Rock. We are considered part of the Downtown Merchants Association because we are in the
nice.
downtown area of Castle Rock. And we are in the plaza on the south side, off of Plum Creek Parkway, which is exit 184 off of I-25. We're just off of Plum Creek Parkway in the large Safeway Plaza. And then once you're in that plaza, it's not hard to find us. We're one of the bigger establishments in there because we do have a large facility. We are right in the corner of the location, almost directly across from Safeway. So it's not hard to find us if you're interested in just a great entertainment night or some serious golf.
That's what I heard. I love that. The serious golf part, I think, is awesome.
Not to put pressure on you, see, but I've got an empty shell room now called my event bay, which I've got to think through.
Yeah.
And I know that your team is going to be coming up to see me soon.
That's right.
And give me some of their ideas. Of course, you've known me. I'm going to then tell them this is the worst idea I've ever heard.
Right.
Come back to me with, is this the best you can do?
Go for option B.
Go for option B.
I think we should call that back room the back nine.
I think you've been drinking.
I really enjoyed you coming by today and sharing your experience and what it means to be a business owner and go through the whole process with a company like us. It's been great to have you here.
Well, thank you. And honestly, we should thank Rick, who made the introduction.
That's right.
at some point. And whether you've gotten to know this about me or not, I'm a big believer in the universe, and I believe that the universe sometimes provides. And the universe provided us this opportunity to work together, and it really worked out well.
It did. I really enjoyed it too. Thanks again for being on our podcast today.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
If you need to create an unforgettable experience, then branded interior design is your secret weapon, because we don't do boring. Designed to help your business grow, Pasley Commercial Interiors.